Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, my friends. This is the MRC show that, of course, never ends. Welcome to your peak Monday night entertainment. Need you look anywhere else? We're here. We're back under the lights in the desert of Bahrain. We have already seen a thrilling end, to say the least, heart in your mouth moment for many, many people, if not the viewers as well, to the Tier 2 race that finished about half an hour ago. And now what can the Tier 1 guys do? Will we have a Hodgie Howler? Will we have a lot of screaming and a lot of, well, hopefully not expletives? I'm sure we possibly will. It's back to a normal track. None of this parading around one behind another for lap after lap after lap. We've got 3 DRS zones here in Bahrain. Lots of overtaking opportunities, and I'm sure that this race is going to be absolutely full of them. But before we get into qualifying, I must introduce the man of the moment, the man joining me in this rather toasty commentary box this evening. He's the man where we have a lot to be grateful for. I'm sure our gratitude. The man, without him, we wouldn't be here, and we'd be racing in some other poxy little leagues that use racing line in the top tiers and all kinds of assists. And we don't want that. We want to be elite, and we certainly are. There is only one man I could possibly be talking about, and it is one of my fellow competitors of Tier 2 and our long-standing gracious leader, that is Mr. Martin Hills. Good evening.
Hello, darling.
Hello. How are we?
Well, that was a bit of an overhyped intro. I don't really deserve that. It's got to be said, but yeah, I'm all right. How are you doing?
Just about calmed down. Just about.
Yeah, I got taken out by some twerp on the last lap.
Yeah, yes, those papaya cars are terrible, aren't they? They're just getting in the way.
Yeah, they all over the shop. It was. It was Stevie Wonder driving it, I think.
Who said that?
And no, that wasn't a call out. That was a joke because Mark and I were having a bit of a tussle, and it was quite aerobic, wasn't it? The little fight we were having at the time. So
it was, and we had it for a lot of laps actually during the race as well, didn't we? That gap, just about 1.5 seconds to a second to under to 1.5 again. It was, to be fair, it was a very good race to that point for both of us.
Yeah, we seem to be on the same pace, but yes, unfortunately, I had a bit of a tumble and tumbled down the rankings at the same time. But there we go. So right, well, here we are. We've got a whole bunch of the same names as we've just had in the previous race, I seem to notice.
Yeah, we have a lot of reserve drivers this evening, and we'll run you through those guys now. So we have got, when everything decides to load slowly, as it usually does on this computer, we start a GoFundMe page for a new laptop. Please.
I quite enjoy the suffering that it's causing you, so no.
So, the man we're watching at the moment, Mr. J. Sarge, one of the first people on his fast lap as he's coming towards the last corner now. His teammate, the Slayer, isn't with us this evening, so we have got Coronation Street, Curry. He's currently also on a fast lap. He is stepping in this evening. We have Floppy, as J. Sarge at 29.6 already, throwing the gauntlet down. That's quick. And Seppi goes to the 28. Right.
Yeah, well, that was going to happen all day long. I'm almost wondering whether because the track seemed to kind of develop quite a lot, so I'm almost wondering how low that top time can go in this tier, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll actually get to the 27s.
Well, I mean, it did improve a lot. I mean, I got caught out because I unfortunately caught some traffic on my hot lap at the end, because I only did 2 runs. And so I got my banker, and that was it. And by the time I'd missed out, J. Sarge has just had a big old spin.
He likes his donuts. He did that a lot yesterday, I do believe.
He did. Practice. He did. He had 2,000-degree tyres or something.
He did. Yes, he did. Yes. We'll nip down to an AlphaTauri seat. Where has he gone? There he is, Mr. Floppy Loppy. Is in the AlphaTauri this evening, currently filling a current vacancy that we have. So if you're watching, or if you have friends that want to join the league, could be on Tier 1 pace, get them invited, get them involved. We'll send the time trials in, and potentially, you never know, they could be within chance of getting a full-time seat in MRC. let's keep on going down the order. So we've got actually two gentlemen on the track. Mr. Calvin, who had a race. He was quick, and he had a few. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to him, to be honest. I think he had a spin at one point, unfortunately, in Tier 2, but he is racing in the Alpine tonight for Mark Ainley, and then his teammate, who is currently just set a lap time in 13th, Mr. Ryan Barber. He is, I'm going to call him Mr. Bayon, and he'll understand that reference. And yeah, he is taking over LRL's seat this evening in the Alpine. Had drive of the day, actually started 19th and finished 5th in Tier 2, so a fantastic race from Ryan. And the other remaining reserve to tell you about this evening is in a red car. Where is he at this moment? Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Where's he gone? I'm trying to find Alex. We got somebody else in. He was having issues earlier. Yes, yes, of course, we got Dumbers Hornet. Last minute stepping up reserve. So, this will be. I'm sure he's going to relish this chance. This will be good fun for him in Tier 1.
He had some good pace this evening.
He did. Had some very good pace. I think he had an unfortunate spin midway through the race, but he did have some very good pace. You're right there with in his lap. So let's have a look. Who's on an outlap? So we've got a few laps already on the board. Seppi leads the way in a 28.6, but right behind him, 300ths of a second, is Reese in second, Ujoni in third, Chatty Duck, Donald Duck in fourth, Coronation Street in fifth, Liverpool in sixth. Hosepipe is reserving as well. That's a late stand-in. The Hosepipe is in seventh, J Sarge in eighth, Confetti Craig and G Star. The current top 10 Bergen just outside there. The Willy Boys in 11th and 13th respectively. So first, most of the people on the first lap's done. Anton going to start his lap soon as well. He's just further on the first sector, so we will ride on board. Mr. Martin, would you like to take us on a flying lap around the undulating dunes of Bahrain?
Who with?
With Dynamite. Sorry, I dropped that one on you, didn't I? A little bit. We're on board with our champion kid Dynamite, who's just over the start-finish line.
He is. He's just heading down into turn one. Brake somewhere just after the 150, about 125. Turn in hard. Get it down to second. Short shift to third. Short shift to fourth over the curb. Let it run out a little bit, but not too much. And hit the DRS. And then this corner's a weird one. I find it better to brake early rather than late and take an early apex, whereas he's kind of gone for like a middle apex.
I'm the same as you, definitely.
Yeah. Here, I'm finding the fifth, sixth down change is optional. Get it nailed through that turn, brake about where the dark blue starts back there. Because if you can hold third through that corner, it gives you better traction. Yeah. This is the hardest corner, I think, possibly in the whole game. As you're turning in really hard, downhill off camber, into the next DRS. Is he going to stick it out over the curb and take the, taking the racing line out there? Probably fourth or fifth. I was going to say smash the throttle, but he smashed it slightly too early.
He did. So who have we got next on a lap? We've got Anton finishing the first sector in the Red Bull. But a lot of things you are exactly right. Yeah, turn 4, I'd take the same, that kind of apex as well.
He's missed that one. He did
that one and 5, yeah.
But he's down to first there. I've been trying to. He's trying to get out of the way of a following car, I think.
He has, yeah. So who else have we got on a lap? So I'll tell you what, Seppi's on. He's on an out lap, I think. Yes, he is.
He's just warming his tyres.
Yep, current provisional pole sitter. He's done a 3-minute lap. I mean, that takes some doing.
The exit out of that corner makes your lap. It has to be said, out of that final corner, it really does make a difference to how much you can get down this straight. I mean, I was running quite a slippery car tonight, so I was struggling a bit through the middle sector, but I was lightning on the straight.
Don't I know it? I'm sick of being able to draw Ferrari wings in this season. I've either had it from your teammate or you tonight, so it's...
Well, unfortunately, you didn't really get to see it for quite as long as I would have liked you to. But never mind. So he's gone for a wider line there. He went right down to third. Avoiding the curbs. I find you can use the curb on the right. I don't know. That's he's on pole. Obviously, he's going fast, but Yeah, how's he going to take this one then? Is he going to take... No, yeah, he early upshifts into third to get the traction. It's so hard, that corner.
It is, you're right. You can easily outbrake yourself, can't you, into that corner? Yes, yeah, hopefully that'll move out the way.
Out wide, down to fourth, up to fifth probably, yep. And then this corner here, you can take in fourth or fifth, depends on where you brake. I find if you stick it in, if you can catch the curb on the right-hand side, you actually get a much faster exit.
Yeah,
I hope that car in front of him's noticed it has.
I bet he had a heart in his mouth moment, hoping and praying that he was going to see him. And it does. How is he getting on that exit? Looks quite nice. Oh, he's lost it on the last corner!
We need to stop commentating on these people on board.
Oh, we really do. Should we just commentate on people in the pits? So Liverpool's in the pits. Now leaving the pits.
Oh no, careful, you'll crash into the pit wall.
Who haven't we cursed in a while? I know Connor's got a favourite that he likes to curse, so shall we ride on board with the blowhole of the Bailey?
Yeah, I literally just went to the blowhole of the Bailey. I was going to say the same thing, but he's...
It's 3 on his lap. That's... Wow. 3 tenths.
Yeah, we're going to hit the 27s, aren't we? I'm pretty sure we are.
We're going to be close. If not, I think a 20... If we don't hit 27s, I think we'll be 28-0, 28-1.
It's going to be very fine, isn't it? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. If you're watching, do get involved in the YouTube chat as always. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your analysis, see what you see, and join in, of course, with us. Hit the like button and share the stream on all your social media posts to your friends, to your family, to your neighbours, dog, and that'll stop them yapping. So get involved, get watching, and like I said, don't forget to hit the subscribe, the share, and the like button. As Mr. Bumple of the Betty comes to finish his lap, what can he do? He puts a 29.4 in and 11th with his lap.
I've just gone on board with Kid because he has started another hot lap.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to curse him.
He's the only person not to have set a time yet, so I just figured it was worth having a look. Now, he's gone at a funny time, because I suppose his theory is if he messed this lap up, he's got time to go back in and do another one, but he's not going to get another run in after this one separately.
No, he's not. No, he's got to really make this one count.
You can on a cooldown lap recharge it enough to do another one. But I didn't find the tyres were that great. They didn't fall off too badly, but sometimes the benefit of being the last one on the track has quite a lot of influence, doesn't it, as well?
It does, yeah. It's one of those, sometimes you don't always see it in game, but I think a track like this that is such low grip that it really does pay dividends, doesn't it, I think.
So, Kid's just coming out of the last corner now.
Brakes very late into that thought.
He can't
do that then. And hit Apex. I always take that, but he goes 4th with his lap on a 28.9. He'll be hard pressed to get round in time. He'll have to do a stonking in lap and out lap as well if he wants to get back out and do another run.
Yeah,
Bergen's popped it up into 7th. That's a good lap from Bergen.
Kid's not going to be doing another lap on that set of tyres either because he's flashing on fuel, so I'm guessing he's got to come in now.
Yeah, I think you're right. So the elder of the Hornets is on. He's flashing as well for his ERS.
There's a lot of people in the pits who I suspect are about to leap out of the pits again.
Yeah, I think you're right. So we're going to see a very, very busy last couple of minutes as Laurent Thieu is on another hot lap, currently in 20th position, but he was a second up. What's he done through the middle sector? He's 3.8 seconds up, so this will put him into the 29s and about mid-pack. Should he be able to get a good run and a good last sector time? A lot of these drivers are taking that wide entrance like we do, or you've mentioned, for turn 11. They're taking that for 13 as well. It's quite interesting. Wow, 5th from Laurent Thieu. What a great lap from him.
I think it's one of those tracks where counterintuitively to me it feels sometimes better to go in slow and out fast rather than trying to hold the speed through the corner.
Yeah.
It's
quite understeery, this track.
I mean, it probably depends very much how you got your car set up as well. So I was, like I say, running quite a low downforce setup, which meant I was never going to be fast around the corners anyway. So really I was focusing more on traction, I suppose, on the exit. So that would mean I'd have to set up for the apex quite early.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people do have that trade-off. It is a fast circuit, this one, only a couple of slow corners. Maybe this maybe 2 only second corners if you decide to hold second gear for turn, I think 7 to turn 8, which is the hairpin. And otherwise, some people do like to hold third, and even there, turn 4, some people do like to hit third gear and upshift early to fourth. I'm not going to lie, that's one of my preferred choices to get the car rotated nicely. As a Red Bull spun ahead of Seppi. Obviously, currently in second place, 3/10 down from Reese.
He's going to be the first one to set his time, though, isn't he? I think
he is. I think you're right there. There might be an AlphaTauri ahead of him. I don't know if that's floppy. I think it might be because Reese is further back, so I think it is.
Yeah, Reese has just started his lap.
Ah, yes, there he is. Yeah, see it in the bottom right-hand corner, folks. So Seppi's a 10th up. He's closing in. That looks like a really good drive off top of the hill there through turn 13, down the hill into 14. You call it the last corner, but actually it's actually 2 separate corners. This is 14, little bit of oversteer moment. There's actually turn 50. That could have potentially cost him a bit of drive as he powers towards the line. He does improve, but not enough.
Yeah, that tiny bit of traction loss over that curb might have cost him, actually.
Yeah. Reese is going quicker, but has he bailed?
Well?
Reese has bailed, yeah, but let's have a look at Chatty Duck as he crosses the line.
Oh no, he's just starting.
He's just starting his lap.
He's just starting a lap, yeah.
I think Reese bailed on his lap. I don't know if he'll have enough to go again.
There's a few people lining up still, so Kidd he has managed to get in and get some more tyres, so he is going again. He's just going to make it.
That's, he did well, didn't he? I said he was going to have to take a quick in-lap, and he didn't have to do that just to get out. And he was under a little bit of pressure, wasn't he? The spin on his first lap, and then trying to get 2 more runs in. Potentially one-stop strategy is the way forward round here. Whether you go for mediums and the hards, or the hards then the mediums, even the soft tyres, if you can eke the mediums out, you can use the softs to the end. But they do fall away very, very quickly.
Yeah, the soft was pretty knackered by the end of, I think I went in when the safety car came out, so I think I only did like 5 laps or something, and they were pretty tired by those 5 laps were finished. But then again, I did also seem to have orange paint all over what was left of my front wing, so I was struggling to get turned into the corners anyway. I did have a bit of a moment with Calvin in the final corner. Chatty Duck's about to finish his lap.
Yeah, what can he do? He does improve, so that should potentially. So what can Kid do? Kid's up on his time as well. Coming to the end of the second sector, this will gauge us if Chatty Duck's good for the second row. 2/10 up. They take that wide line on exit and use all of that curb. Jody Saviour's popped it into 4th. Right, EastEnders is up there into 4th as well. Kid Dynamite's dropping down the order. Hopefully that hasn't put him off looking at the time screen in the corner of his screen. But what can he do to improve? He does. He goes into 6th. Wow, there were 1, 2, 3, 5 drivers on a 128.7.
That's all pretty close, isn't it?
Just a little, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean we've got 8/10 covering the top 10.
Yeah, we certainly do. Another tight and close qualifying session from our Tier 1 drivers, but it is Reese who takes pole position under the lights in Bahrain. Seppi in the Haas lines up in second. His teammate Donald Duck is going to be lined up in third. Coronation Street in fourth. Liverpool in fifth. Kid Dynamite in sixth. Saviour in seventh. Joni in eighth. Laurentia in ninth. Bergen in the top 10. Then Jay Sarge following suit with the leaky hose pipe in 12th. Anton in 13th. Blowhole of the Bailey in 14th. G-Star in 15th. The oldest of the Hornets in 16th. The Pinata Confetti in 17th. Calvin Izu in 18th. Ryan and his Bayon in 19th. And Floppy Loppy will round out the grid in 20th. So, I think I found a lot of people started on the medium tyres in Tier 2.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that most people at the back seemed to as well. Even though I think the last three, including myself, were on the hards, and I think maybe there was I couldn't tell from the back, but I think there was someone near the front who started on the hards, wasn't there? Because I seemed to who was it? I did catch up with somebody who was clearly on similar tyre wear. But yeah, it did seem to be like a very yellow grid.
It was, yeah. I think the lead on the hards. I think Fox started on the hards a few places back, and I didn't actually catch who else was as well.
Well, there's not a lot going on the chat tonight, is there?
No, it's not. It's very quiet. I don't know what's the matter with you. You got a weekend hangover, folks, from the something going on, but a weekend hangover, something like that. Monday blues. This should be your cue to the Monday blues. So where are you?
They probably
Get
got frostbite
involved
and can't type.
Well, it's either that, yeah, that could be another thing. So Simon saying, let's go Saviour. Saviour's got the support from Germany with him tonight. So let's have a look and see what we have in terms of tyres. We have got quite a opposite, really. We've got a lot more on the hard compound tyres. Seppi's on the mediums. Laurentia in 9th. Hosepipe, Anton, Chris, Bailey, Jumas Hornet, and Loppy on the medium tyres. Jay Sarge actually starting on the soft tyres. Is interesting.
Is he going to try soft to hard? Or did he see the ensuing chaos in Tier 2 and thinks that he has got a chance of making up some positions and then putting on to something else under a safety car, maybe? I don't know. It's always a difficult strategy to pull off, to be honest with you, because a pit stop's not generally worth it unless you've got damage at the start of a race, is it? So.
Yeah, exactly that. You're right. The field usually tightly bunched together. Wish there were a little bit more on this formation lap. I think Lauren's kind of on his own a little bit. But yeah, you're right. The soft tyres on heavy fuel, then he's not going to be able to get the best out of it, you'd have to say. And then is he going to hope for some drama ensuing on the first opening laps to make those places and make those softs work? Potentially. But you'd have to say, to get them... People found, I thought, the hards lasted longer than they were kind of forecasted to, without too much of a drop-off.
Yeah, I kind of came in because I felt like I ought to, not because I felt like I needed to.
Yeah, I did the same, actually. I think I did a lap later than you, and I was sort of thinking, well... And I was sitting going, do I go mediums to the end? Do I go softs? Will they make it? Do I do mediums? Do I go soft? And it was really... For about 2 laps, I did not know what tyre I was going to go on. I did 2 of risk on the softs, and then, of course, we had the safety car about 2 laps later, which kind of curtailed that a little bit. Felt like I should have stayed out, but the wear on the soft tyres is really high around here. I think maybe about 5 or 6 laps are going to be difficult.
Well, maybe even less than that with the full fuel load. Yes,
exactly that. Yeah, you're right there. On this. So, drivers starting to line up now on the grid. Dan Calvin disqualified from the session. They may have had a little coming together somehow, somewhere. But that camera angle looks great. Unfortunately, we cannot see any of those lights. So we're going to look on board with Reese for the lights to go out. And here we go, folks. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 and 5 lights. And Monday night, Tier 1 goes racing, and away we go. Good start at the front. There's drivers 3 abreast. Oh, there's a Red Bull and a Ferrari in the wall. That's Bell's got it. I think he's got dynamite. He has. Already, the camera hasn't moved, so that's out. There we go. Now we've got 3 abreast, but Reese is a full safety car already, which unsurprising, to be honest. You'd have to say.
Yeah, that looked like a traction issue. He sort of speared straight across the track and into the pit wall there, didn't he?
He did. He really did. That's, I think, Dynamite just the really unlucky, just innocent bystander in all that. There's nothing he could do. Full acceleration off the line, and yeah, that's really happened to him. No front wing for Dynamite, so he will have to pit, and that's going to ruin him a little bit. He's on the hard tyres as well. I wonder if he'll pit and then pit again and go in the back of the snake. But there was a 5 seconds for Anton, who hit the back of, I think it was Horsman. So as people are slamming on the brakes under safety car when that comes out, I think a few people just got caught out a little bit. Oh, Liverpool,
Yeah,
already in general chat apologising. Don't apologise. It happens to the best of us. I did it. Well, I say the best of us. I can't really comment it. I'm not really on your level in any way, shape or form. But it happened to me in Portugal in MRCX.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's he's so desperate to get the power down with no traction control. Obviously, with this game, for some reason, it always goes to the right.
It does actually, yes.
It does. It's a known thing. When I've watched some tutorials, because obviously I'm trying to learn to get that traction off myself. When I've watched a couple of tutorials about starts, they do say in those tutorials the car will always steer to the right if you will spin off the line.
It's a very strange one, isn't it? You know, but then you see some of the best drivers and they get wheel spin, but they seem to keep going in a straight line. And I don't understand how.
Well, it depends how much throttle you're putting on, doesn't it? Ultimately, I suppose, because you can still get a wheel spin without being at full throttle.
Well, yes.
So, and in comes Kid Dynamite. So he's obviously going to get himself his wing.
Yeah,
Like you say, tactically, will he make another stop, or
he's gone for the mediums?
Yeah, he may not be able to sort of come back in again, because by the time he's caught the pack up, no, he's actually quite a long way behind the pack, actually, isn't he? So.
Yeah, it's a strange one. Sometimes you'll get maybe that distance away that he is now, and then the safety car decides, nope, we're going in, and you're left stranded. Or it will wait for you. At this stage of the race, you'd have to say it probably will wait. And then, yeah, if he could go back on the hard tyres, or he could use the mediums to as much advantage as possible along the hard tyre runners ahead of him, and then put for the hards later on. They've only done one lap, of course, under safety car conditions, so they won't be badly won.
No, there's not a lot of tyre advantage going on. You could see the mediums starting to fall off by about lap 8, I think, earlier on.
Yeah,
it seemed to be that the crossover point between the mediums and the hard wasn't that deep into the race. Obviously, it's going to be a bit deeper into the race now as a safety car. But they don't have a traction advantage for that much, for that many laps, really. I was just having a quick look at who's done well at the start, and Confetti Krieg is up 6 places.
Yeah, that's a heck of a start from him. Actually, a lot of drivers up a few places, unfortunately, with Liverpool and Dynamite falling down the order. Red Car's got ahead of Calvin. He's up 3, Floppy Loppy up 2. You're right, the biggest winner, though, is Confetti. Laurentier's up 3. Confetti up 6 places, you say there. So a couple of drivers up the 1, maybe 2 places that we've seen from Liverpool and Dynamite. So kind of... Corey's got ahead of Daffy Duck. I'm going to call him Daffy this evening. He's got a dark helmet on. We'll go with Daffy. Than Donald.
Somehow Kid is in the chat on YouTube.
Yeah.
Not sure how he's managing that. He's just saying that no worries, I repel, it just happens.
Yeah, exactly. And it does. It's one of those, like you say, traction off the line. It's difficult sometimes. So, but to live on to fight another day. We are only, well, what we said, not even halfway through our season yet, are we? So there's a long time left to go. About what are we, about third, give or take? Just over a third, I think, of the season. Yeah. So yeah, a long way still to go, and some tracks coming up that, especially later on in the season, that do lend themselves, like this one, to overtaking and to a fast and stable car through high speed corners. So it's I think especially the end of the season is going to be high thriller, I'd have to say, across all tiers.
Yeah, it's there's been quite a mixture of kind of people on the podium, hasn't there? So the points have been sort of quite spread out.
Yeah, you're right. There's a couple that, you're yes, you're consistent. That's the word I was looking for. I was struggling to find the word. You're consistent drivers who always up there scoring points. And then, yeah, you're right, the few that just will get, I think, who was that that's had a moment? I think that's Coronation Street's had a little spin under the safety car. He has, and he's dropped himself back down to 10th now. There's a few people. That's because the safety maybe had a moment or was avoiding people, ignoring a yellow flag. I do not know how Xavier's managed to ignore a yellow flag going at that speed. Very strange.
Yeah.
Oh, very late call for the safety car. Coming out of the last corner, which will have caught a lot of drivers out. Maybe they don't have the heat in the tyres, but Reese now is de facto safety car for probably one of the shortest points of his, well, racing leading career. Chatty Duck's now going through people. He's going to pit, so must have had damage to his wing, but Reese now sets off, and we've now got a green flag on lap 4 of this race. Seppi's going to have a look at the outside, can't make it in, have a look at the inside. No, he's not. But I'll tell you what, we've got Lauren Cheer looking at the inside as he's kind of defending for Mujoni, just about hold off. But now Bergen's looking interested on the outside. Is he going to be able to do anything? He can't this time out. Xavier's had a moment as well, and he's dropping back down the order.
Corrie, unfortunately, just had big contact with J Sarge, so the teammates came together in turn 1, and that has dropped J Sarge to 18th. Oh,
it really has. Thomas Hornets had a spin as well coming out of turn 4. That one for him. He was looking really well, and I know Sarge on the soft tyres as well, so that's really, really going to hurt him. He was, that safety car was a bit of a blessing while he was on those softer compound tyres, and Rambo's retired. Oh, he's lost it outside of turn 8 as well, so that's another one of those traction zones that you're talking about up the hill. And another safety car we've got.
Yeah, I was going to say more bad news for Kid Dynamite, but the safety car is good news for Kid Dynamite because he's got quite serious wing damage as well. So something has happened with him too.
As Corey left the session, hopefully that's just a bit of a glitch and he'll get back in as J Sarge. No one else has. Now we saw Hornet spin round. His wing looks, that's in one piece, so that's good news. This helps Chatty Duck. He pitted early on. And we saw at the end of that safety car when it went green. So we go from a couple of races with no safety cars, no VSCs at all to 2 in. Well, we haven't had a full racing lap yet.
So Kid's going to come back in. I bet he slaps those hards back on again.
Yeah, it would make sense. He could. Well, he actually now could potentially take those hard tyres. He could take them to the end. It may not feel great the last couple of laps, but he could potentially do that.
Well, if only he was a bit of a faster driver, then he might be able to make a go of that.
Yeah, I know. If he'd only just won some races before, or a championship even.
Yeah, he's not trying, is he? Really hard enough.
I think he's just here for giggles, isn't he?
That's dropped him a couple of places, but hasn't really cost him anything, to be honest with you. I think he was, he dropped right down to the high teens, and he's still in the high teens, so I don't think he's going to be too unhappy about that. He's back on probably the tyre he'd prefer to be on, may be able to go to the end, and now has an entire front wing.
That J Sarge has gone to the medium compound tyres. Chris Bailey's also pitted and that he's on the hard tyres. Maybe he's looking at trying to do the same thing as well. We have to say we may have one more lap behind the safety car. Ryan, sorry lads, car snapped on him. Not a problem. Yeah, Mr. Bayon.
In the Discord he said, I hate hards.
Yeah.
I was finding all the tyres take quite a long time to come in here, and also even though I was running quite high tyre pressures, I was struggling for temperatures.
Yeah, I think the hards, I got temperature, but the actual grip didn't come in for about 3, maybe 4 laps, so they actually started being consistent and you knew where the grip was.
Yeah, but I was finding even with the mediums and the softs, they weren't turning in for the first sector on the first lap at all. Really, they felt quite horrible. Yeah. But yeah, and I was finding that the right-hand side tyres weren't maintaining temperature a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think the faster corners are right-handers, so it does put a lot more pressure on the left.
The left.
But you're right, it was tricky. I found, especially the front left, I found difficult, or most difficult, them to get any temperature into them.
J Sarge is now doing the tactic you mentioned before. He's coming back in to get rid of those mediums and go back to the hards, I would imagine.
Yeah, possibly is. Yeah, Chatty Duck is doing the same thing as well.
He's having another wing. He's having another wing.
Oh, yes. I wonder if he's had a moment with Donald Duck, who's
under the
gone out
safety
on another set of... Yeah, potentially.
So now he's gone back to the medium again.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be having a bit of a sweary night tonight, I suspect.
Potentially, yes. Yes, I think he is.
So, there's still very much, when this gets going again, there is definitely a race to be had, because we've got some. Seppi and Reese up the front there are going to stand on the loud pedal and go for it.
Yeah, and the swap positions as well, which didn't see beforehand.
Oh no! How's that happened?
Yeah, missed that one.
Someone been off track maybe.
Could have done. Yes, could have done. That graphic, and it's one of those now because you're under the safety cars and you're not taking as much, of course, out of the tyres. Just apart from trying to get the heat into them, which the drivers are furiously trying to do now down the back straight. This one stop down to the softs is possibly on for quite a lot of these drivers if they kind of keep themselves out of trouble, and well, it depends what happens with, of course, incidents and safety cars throughout the rest of this race.
Safety car coming in.
Yep, so now Seppi takes over. And we saw the first safety car in about 3 or 4 rounds in Tier 2, and now Tier 1 is certainly making up for it, while Seppi gets the last bit of heat into those front medium tyres. Now when is he going to stamp on the loud pedal? Safety car's in the pits, and now he goes, and Reese, 0.5 of a second. Didn't really get the run. It's very difficult too unless you right up the gearbox, but Lauren Cheer's got to Johnny for company, and there he is. The McLaren and the Mercedes. He's going to try on the outside. He's not. There's a Williams. That was Bergen going a little bit deep, and he was under pressure from Xavier, but there was a little bit of a wiggle from Lauren Cheer, and that's allowing you Johnny to goes a little bit wide through 3. Is he going to try and have the run up the hill? It's side by side. He was going to be late. It's on the brakes. He's got the outside line, but just Lauren Cheer manages to stay ahead on the grippier medium tyres, and Bergen does just stay ahead. Oh, and I think Coronation Street's had another little moment. Somebody has at the exit of turn 4. He's gone round.
Yeah, I think something happened with Hoseman as well, because he suddenly lost a load of places too. And they were in roughly the same part of track. I don't know whether Hoseman maybe just lost a bit of traction coming through turn 2. But it's there's cars all over the place at the back.
Yeah, there was there. That was, I think, Calvin got a bit of a tongue slapper on, and that's allowed G-Star to come through, but he's also under pressure from, as the aforementioned Hoseman. Nothing this time round, so Calvin holds on to 9th spot with Hosepipe and Floppy Loppy in close quarters, plus then Anton as well.
Of course, Corey's AI, isn't he? Because he left the session.
Oh, he is. Of course, well, so that's... Yeah, as you can see the car there, courses, unfortunately, that is absolutely guttering. I think this is his debut, his first race in MRC.
Well, that's unfortunate. I hope it's a shame he hasn't managed to get back in, but have to try again next time.
Yep, if not, hopefully he'll get in now. Xavier on the inside of Bergen, no DRS yet, of course. Xavier into turn 1 makes that move stick. So the Aston Martin Xavier on his way, as we've got cars side by side in the background there. That's Anton, I think, and Chris, the blowhole Bailey, and Kid Dynamite, of course, on the charge back after, well, what can be described as multiple trips through the pit lane. He's on the inside of Anton. Does he make the move stick? Just about gives enough room, but the side by side through 4 into 5, and just Dynamite has the inside line. It's not really wanting to go side by side to there, and he just keeps that position. But he's now on the back and looking to get through Chris, the blowhole Bailey. And on here's J. Sarge, looking a little bit racy on the back of Horseman, of course, on the back of the Alpine. Calvin trying to offload as many of his heavy animals as he can so he can try to lighten that car. But J. Sarge side by side. Is he going to have the... Oh, just a little bit of contact. And I think Horseman's been forced wide. He has.
Yeah, and that means that Laupi has got a bit of a run in him at the moment as well.
That's what I think, unfortunately. Ronan jumping on board with them, as you mentioned there. He's a little bit further back, so he's now actually got... He's more probably looking in his wing mirrors at Bailey, who's also going to be looking in his mirrors from... Well, he's not really... Well, we've said he's not really a kid, so the middle-aged firecracker, I think I called him last week.
Oh, and Laupi's made a mistake on the exit of the final corner, which is giving Chris the run on him down the straight. Chris is going to get this done. Yeah,
he will do, and then he's also got to look over for the dynamite we're going to ride on board to what Chris can do. But Loppy's got a very quick car on a straight line. Chris not really doing it. It's all about the braking, and then the traction on the exit. Chris had to give up that position, but he'll have surely DRS. But Kid's got the best run out of the three of them, but nothing he can do because Chris is going to get inside. But actually, Kid's having another look. Who's going to go make it stick into fourth? Kid dynamite side by side with Bailey. Is this going to be a carbon copy of last lap? Just about Chris is still holding it. Oh, there's nearly contact. What a defence and what racing from the two of them.
Yeah, I think Laupi's poor exit through that corner caused Chris to get bunched up behind him quite unexpectedly, which let Kid suddenly catch up very, very much.
Yeah, he certainly did. That would be hearty mouthful on both, of course, on the hard this as well. So that to have the grip and the confidence, that takes some doing.
But you can see that that Kid's got a lot of pace in that car. He's at some point he's going to start being able to sort of deploy it. He looks almost... I mean, obviously Chris is very quick, but it looks a little bit like Kid is slightly stuck almost.
Yeah, it does a bit, and you can get that round here a little bit if the car in front does get the right traction. I'll tell you what, Calvin's used all of his ERS already. We're just looking at this. Oh, that was Horseman in the back of J. Sarge. He was almost lining up to get the DRS on Calvin down the straight, but Calvin's now got no ERS, as you can see on the steering wheel. Already none of it is he trying to get past G-Star before the DRS was enabled. But G-Star ahead is looking at the inside of an Aston Martin. No, who's confetti? Confetti's trying to go down 2 and 3. Side by side. This is great view from the on board Calvin. I bet he just wishes he was there to get involved. But Confetti just about keeps hold of that 7th spot. And look at this, now we're looking back from Calvin, and J. Sarge is nearly there, and he's coming alongside out of 4 into 5 side by side. J. Sarge to the inside, he hits the curve, and there's contact. J. Sarge is round.
Who would do that?
Yeah.
That's basically a carbon copy of what happened to us.
A little bit, it was, yeah.
Yeah, so whilst that was going on, Kid got very quickly past Chris Bailey on the straight because Chris fell out of the DRS zone of the car in front. So Kid had an easy move to get past him, and now he's looking at the back of Laupi. He's very, very close to the back of Laupi at the moment.
He is, but Laupi we saw has a good car in a straight line, and he's got the DRS off the hosepipe, and Calvin, who's got it off G-Star, has just fallen over a second behind the Pinata Confetti, but this gap at the front 2.4 seconds, but they've got Laurent Gier is within DRS as they go and exit the final corner. So Laurent Gier is going to make a move on Reese for second place. He's got the medium tyres on, so he needs to get that done, which he does very, very comfortably. But I'll tell you what, now Reese is going to have to look out the back of it. Joey's going to go on the outside in turn 1. Does he just outpick himself? He does. The hosepipe's gone outside the last corner, and there's a virtual... That's a virtue. It's a full safety car again.
Safety car, yeah. Oh dear. And so I missed that. I was actually in the middle. I was too busy watching the fight at the front to see Hoseman taking a crunch further down.
Yeah, outside the last corner. So if he could potentially have gone wide and over that curb and tried to get on quickly, can unsettle the car. So that could be potentially what happened there. Lepel, unfortunately, has now left the session because he retired, unfortunately, off the line. Ryan has gone outside of turn 8 in early, and now the hose pipe has well and truly sprung a leak, and he is now out of the section. Laurent Gier, drive-through penalty! The man who just got into second place with a great move on Reese is now going to drive through penalty for speeding under the safety car.
you've got to think that the medium runners up the front there, is this going to be their moment to take a pit stop?
Yeah, I actually brought up the tyre screen for that was something I was actually going to come to and ask you about. Yeah, exactly that thought pattern of you've got a safety car. There's a good gap to I think that is Confetti in 7th. So they're not going to lose a huge amount of places. Plus, then, we can see there we go. Seppi and Lawrence both diving into the pits.
I think you've got to take that, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think tactically it would be a smart move to stay out on 10-lap old hards and wait for the safety car to finish.
Exactly that. But I tell you what, we found in Xavier and Bergen are also pitting on their hard tyres.
Interesting.
Yeah, I probably would expect them because they'll go double that length, especially with the safety cars we've had. So you'd have thought potentially they would have stayed on them a lot longer.
And the Astons are just stacked in the pits.
Not ideal.
Not too bad.
Xavier was the lead Aston in that one. Of course, our former double champion.
So Jay Sarge has gone back to his hards at last.
But now
they're actually reading as no laps because obviously he didn't actually complete a full lap on them, did he?
Of course not, he didn't know. He'll have about 1% wear on them, if that. So, I mean, that definitely, these hard timers now will see them at the end. 17 laps on medium tyres, albeit with a couple under safety car. It's going to, I would have to say, prove a bit tricky.
Well, lighter fuel load as well. But I'm not sure I'd fancy it, to be honest with you. But having said that, I mean... Yeah, have you noticed who's now snuck his way up to 4th?
Oh, wow.
With the least worn tyres in the top 4.
And the most pit stops, apart from Sarge and Chatty Duck, who they just enjoy the scenery, I think.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, he's got a bit of a challenge on. So Chris and Anton and Kid are all up there on fairly worn hards, but they could go to the end. It's going to be hard, but there's nothing that's going to stop them from doing that. They will do that, but the problem is this safety car might actually upset that strategy a little bit as well, because there's now a whole bunch of people on quite fresh mediums, not very far behind. So
yeah, but I think by the time they get them up to temperature and the wear they're saving, as dumb as Hornet decided to pit a lap too late, you'd have to say, and now gets 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. His trip to Tier 1 has not been the most ideal, we'll go with. It's not been perfect for the Elder Hornet. Well, I'm sure he'll be back. Hope so.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's fairly clear to see that there's a lot of people in here who are very experienced in Tier 1 who aren't having the best of nights as well. So it's it can happen to anybody.
It certainly can. With, of course, 3-time champion Jay Sarge down there in 15th currently. We've got current champion Kid Dynamite now. He's having a race of ups and downs, to say the least. I would have to say. And then, of course, who else have we got? Reese, of course, one of our fastest drivers, and potentially on course to be season. It's a long way to go, but season 9 champion. Have I cursed him? Possibly and probably.
So so this is probably the most safety cars we've had in a race for a while, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. It is. I mean, what we're on 4? Where's our 4th now?
Yeah, I mean, we've actually had funnily enough, a bit of a lack of safety cars recently, and not just last week, but in the weeks prior to that as well.
Yes, didn't it?
Yeah, because I felt that not the most recent update, but the one prior to that, to me, it seemed like the safety car became less regular after the last but one update. Safety car is coming in, by the way.
Yes, certainly is. But yeah, just before we do get racing, to follow on from your point and to compliment that, you're right. I thought, and it was even discussed, wasn't it, in the admin chat, and to potentially do we look at upping the safety car if possible, because the out there that you would expect to warrant a safety car and didn't. But I think it seems to have been fixed. Well and truly fixed now, and T1 is having their share to make up for the last couple of weeks.
Well, this is a track where when you go off at high speed, don't you?
Yes, you do, yeah.
So
now, there we go racing, sorry to interrupt, but there Reese does go, and he's got 4/10 from Johnny napping, but Calvin has got the dynamite, the firecracker all over the back. We've also got Chris Bailey, who's also then got on top of his dynamite. Gonna have a look at the turn one, it's side by side, and he just back out, but there's nearly 4 abreast. And now look at Bailey through turn 2, because of the run he got, dynamite just about holds on to 3. Bailey has a little bit of a moment, and he's just about going to be safe through that. He's got past Seppi further down the order. Laurentu's got past Anton now into turn 4. There's a few cars side by side outside of there as well, but clean from the front. But there's definitely 2, and then battles further down the order. There's a Haas there. Is that going to be with Xavier? It is. That's Seppi going on the outside of Xavier on the hards against the mediums as well. So that's really good moving from Seppi to keep ahead of Xavier, but Xavier's going to try it out in the outside of turn 10. Can he make it stick? Just about gives through, but he's going to have the best traction. It's just Xavier.
That was some very respectful racing. I'd literally just gone on board with those guys just before you started talking about them, and they were super respectful. That was great racing from those two. Yeah,
definitely, and having had in this instance, the pleasure of actually going wheel to wheel with both of them, they are very respectful. I think Xavier's he's got support from Simon in the chat, and he is one of the most well-liked and well-respected drivers I think we have in MRC, and he is brilliant to go wheel to wheel with. And now he's going to be...
Bergen's looking super racy right now as well.
Yeah, he's on the back of the Haas as well as... And Lauren Cheers pitted out to get as far. He tried to get his drive-through off, and he's now got 5 seconds for his trouble.
I hate this pit lane entrance.
I just went. You've got it. Oh, who was that? That's Seppi that went really deep, and now this is Bergen side by side through 2. Is he going to have the 1 out of 3? Just about. There's a tiny touch of. Well, I was going to say something, but that's more Gav's territory about touching rubbers, and yeah, we'll move on. We'll skip that.
Yeah, I watched that back the other morning in bed, and I was like, oh dear, this is a shameful evening for all concerned. Just in case you're wondering what we're talking about, it's the Tier 4 commentary from... No, it was the MR... Was it?
It was
Tier 4? It was Tier 4, wasn't it?
Yes, I think it was.
Which was an interesting... It was very funny. Wasn't an awful lot to talk about on track, to be fair. We did talk about things when they were happening, so there was a lot of filling going on, I think. Let's say.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's what you get round. Unfortunately, the Principality. It's difficult. It was a bit more of a procession. There was a bit of action in Tier 2, but that was kind of few. Well, my race was few and far between. But it was still good fun. And now we're going back into Dynamite, who's right under the rear wing of that Alpine. Now he's on a charge. He's, well, not just in red, he's been seen red. He's had a few trips to the pit lane. Now DRS is enabled, but will Dynamite need it? He is under the gearbox, and he pulls out alongside. He's going to have the inside line. Who's going to be last and bravest and latest on the brakes? It's going to be Dynamite on the inside line as Calvin leaves him room, and Dynamite does. He's through, he's into third, and now he's going to be chasing down the top 2 with only 0.6 of a second between them. And now DRS is open and wide on the Mercedes of Ujoni. Nothing, not close enough this time round though.
So the problem Kid's going to have now is that Calvin is going to be very racy and in his DRS, which is going to mean that he's going to have to defend from him, which might make it difficult for him to start making some progress unless Dean can really push on this lap and get that DRS gap. But it's not impossible, but it's probably a tall order.
Yeah, it's already got 0.8 over Calvin. There's 3 laps difference on their tyres, but found the hards don't necessarily drop away too much. They wear, but don't necessarily give up the ghost and give up the grip that you would expect them to. They just start sliding a bit more. There's not the traction there or that you'd expect them to have as Calvin. Yeah, he's already fallen back over a second. Now he's going to have the resurgent saviour with a very racy Warhol Bailey on his rear wing.
So Kid got exactly what he needed there, which is to get out of that DRS, like you were saying. Not sure how he managed to do that, because Calvin had his rear wing open, and the gap opened up by 0.7 of a second on that short straight.
Wow.
So that was so he's obviously got a very slippery car, or he dumped a big pile of ERS, or maybe Calvin just got some slightly. Well, there you go. Maybe that's.
Oh, sorry, I just cut back. Sorry to interrupt, but O'Joni had a look at Reese into turn 1. We saw that little change of position. Saviour's had a moment. Saviour's gone round. What's happened there? We'll have to come back. He has. He's had a big moment. He was challenging Calvin, and he's now gone round, and that's hampered him. But O'Joni and Reese are side by side out of 4. O'Joni's on the outside line. He's trying to go on the outside. Reese on the in. Now it's going to swap round, and it does. Wow, what racing from those two. Oh, I think there's a little love tap as well. Out of 8. We're going to get rid of these tyres. Going to see as much of the screen as we possibly can. O'Joni now does take the lead from Reese. This has also allowed Kid to close by a second in that.
Indeed, that's exactly what I was about to say. That's been like manna from heaven for Kid. He's suddenly taken a huge chunk of time out of those two whilst they're squabbling, and he's going to be very close to. He's not going to quite be in DRS probably. I don't think at the end of this lap, but he's not going to be far off it, especially if these two go at it down the start-finish straight again.
Exactly that. And he's got fresher tyres. Will he go to the end? Potentially. But if not, then they're going to be on a similar strategy. You'd have to say, oh! Reese is now. Chad to Reese. He's had to pit for wing damage, and he's got 5-second penalty. This is absolutely golden though for Kid down. I think Stewart's will be looking at that one at the end of this.
I think Reese, unfortunately, just missed. It looked like he just misjudged the braking slightly and just went straight into the back of Ugoni.
But that's also promoted into third. Bergen is up there now in the Williams, ahead now of his teammate, but he's got Calvin, Bailey, Seppi, Anton, Saviour, G-Star, Chatty Duck, Sarge, Dumas Hornet and Confetti all within a second. So that's a trend from 3rd down to 13th that Bergen's the lead of there, and he's going to be trying to break that DRS of Calvin, which is just about done, but we're going to stick with this battle at the top 2 for now and keep our eye on that one further down as Laurentia, after serving a drive-through and getting a 5-second penalty, currently trying to catch up to the back of them. He was in 2nd place early on.
So Ugoni just went slightly wide through that corner back there. Just watching Kid's deployment, actually, he's barely using his ERS. He's saving it. Wow. Then again,
76%.
Yeah, he's got.
Wow.
It's barely changed all lap. He's using a teeny weeny bit here and there, but he's clearly like storing it up, ready to give it a massive boost on the straight, I presume.
Yeah, he's got the DRS as well. Now he hits the overtake button just to get that acceleration. He's not going to be close enough, you'd think, this time round. But yeah, himself a little bit further down. I think we're just going to have Seppi's going to be right on board with him. And look at this, and Chris Bailey, the 3 abreast into turn 1. Seppi's got the inside line, but runs a little bit deep. Is Calvin going to try and have it? But he's not. Chris Bailey takes to turn 2. And there's Ghost up next to the dump of DRS, but Seppi was behind. Wow. So I managed to be behind, and that's him now up into 4th from 6. Calvin goes from 4th down to 6th, and Bailey, well, after all that, stays 5th.
I think Ant's going to fancy his chances against Calvin and Chris, though, because they're both very low on ERS, whereas he's got loads, or plenty.
Yeah. Certainly has.
The 2 in front are down to 9%, and he's up at 50.
Yep, and then we've got Xavier further back. He's got 27%, but now we're in that DRS train. Chris Bailey now leading that DRS train, but you have to say this straight's a little bit short, but not for the Alpine. That's Xavier on the inside. He's going to have the room just about. He's fighting with Anton. So Anton going for him, as you trying to look quite clever on the back of Calvin, has now just been passed from Xavier with his on the quicker tyres, mind. But that's still a great move.
Yeah, I was just back on board with Kid. He's struggling to get this gap down to Ugoni at the moment. It's staying the same. They're both using a similar amount of ERS all the time, but Kid has 10% more, so he could use a little bit more deployment if he wanted to. 9 laps left to go. 3 lap tyre difference. Bergen, he's not far behind, but those mediums are going to be starting to feel pretty exhausted by now, I would think.
Yeah, Saviour's done a lot of... Oh, that's a nasty man in the background. Big hit. Who's on the background? Sarge. Sarge is out, and we are going to have... It's a yellow flag. It's a full safety car again.
So, everyone's going to be coming in for some softs then, aren't they?
Well, possibly. Well, yeah. I mean, I think you pitted about this. Did you not pit and put mediums on? Someone did in our team about this time, and this is when I pitted and put the softs on, and then probably had to pit again. But I think,
yeah,
this could be just about soft tyre territory.
Or who's got some not very worn mediums?
I mean, Dynamite's probably used everything he's ever had.
But he's yeah. So no, you've got to. I can't see that those guys on the worn hards are going to want to stay out the front, because I'm pretty sure everyone behind's going to be coming in to get some new tyres, I would think.
Yeah, exactly that. So we're on board with O'Joni. He surely will pit. He does. What's Dynamite do? Dynamite's staying out.
Oh, that's daring.
It's a risk. Yeah, it's a risk. But
I guess the thing is, it's like we're saying, it's a long stretch for a set of softs to last through.
Yeah, Johnny straps on a set of medium tyres. As we've got a few drivers. Bergen stayed out. Saviour stayed out. Donald Duck stayed out on his recovery drive. Seppi stayed out as well. Lauren Shearer as well on 9 laps. I mean, mediums are going to feel a bit funny towards the end, aren't they?
Those 0 lap mediums are going to feel pretty good, though, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely will. They're going to. That's just clean to push all the way. A few drivers: Bailey, Calvin, Con of the Pinata, and the Elder Hornet. They've all gone for the soft tyres as well. So this is going to be.
I'm just looking at Seppi, thinking he's only on 9 laps on his hards. His are going to be quite fresh when they restart, whereas Bergen's tyres are going to go off pretty quickly after that restart, or they're going to start feeling pretty slow. I wonder whether we're going to get a change of lead before the end at this rate, because I'm just thinking that it's going to be very hard for those 17 lap tyres to feel fast, even though they might feel consistent. Whereas those ones that are currently 9 laps old are going to be feeling pretty good towards the end. They'll still feel all right.
Yeah, you're going to have another 9. Well, probably we might not even get. Well, I don't think the safety car will be in this lap. We'll have at least one more lap behind it. So you'll have 7 or 8 racing laps to go. And I think Dynamite's had 2 safety cars with those hard tyres, so he's not taking as much life out. So that will prolong their overall life. But I think you're right. They're still not going to feel great at the end.
Yeah, I was forgetting he'd had them on through the previous safety car as well.
Yeah, and Seppi is as well. I think you're kind of right with Seppi. I mean, Bergen's had a few, and so has Saviour. And Lauren Shearer have had those through safety car periods as well. So speaking of Lauren Shearer, typically he pits. That's going to drop him way back down. It's probably going to drop him out. It will behind Floppy Loppy and potentially behind Reese.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why he's doing it, though. I would think that those mediums that are worn are going to feel horrible within just a couple of laps now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I didn't really like the mediums anyway when we did practice sessions. That's why I tried to extend the hard tyre run. And who knows if it was the right decision or not. But it was one of those, the mediums are going to feel better. Joni's going to be able to push all the way through. Bailey and Calvin will be able to push, you'd have to say 3 or 4 laps, and they may start falling away. They'll have to make as much use of them as possible. But the mediums, the delta isn't huge between the mediums I've found and the softs, really. Especially once they're all up to temperature. And the mediums are more consistent. Same with the hards, actually.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying about those 10 lap hards looking pretty good, is because actually comparatively the top two guys have probably got similar feeling in their tyres at the moment, whereas Seppi there in third has relatively got quite low wear compared to the people in front of him.
Yeah, exactly that. No, that's a very, very good point, and I think we may see the safety car in this lap. We'll have another. Yes, folks, one more green flag. Let's get rid of this at the bottom as well. There it is, safety car in this lap. Now, from 2 pit stops, a couple of front wings, if not 0 front wings in the opening laps. Kid Dynamite's gone from the back of the grid, currently leading. Will he stay there? Will he be able to take it home for the Tifosi under the lights in the desert in Bahrain? Don't go anywhere. We have got 7 more racing laps to come. Well, hopefully 7 more racing laps. And when will Dynamite... Well, we hope. We hope. And he's backed off a little bit, now he goes. But I'll tell you what, Bergen got a good run here. I think he might have had the throttle glitches, he's a little bit close, but look at this, Bergen's got the run, and Seppi's going with him, they're side by side down the straight. Who's going to be bravest into the braking zone? Dynamite's on the inside of it, as Bergen is trying to hang it on the outside, he is through turn 2, backs out, but Seppi's now got the run and he makes it.
And there you go, there's those tyres coming into play already, I think. Seppi looks really racy.
He does, and Xavier having a look at Bergen didn't make it happen though. I think that was down to throttle glitch, and Dynamite just going that touch too early, and it's slowing you down before the safety car comes into the pits, and I think that happened in ours restart, because I managed to get in a place on the restart down. Oh, Seppi gets a big twitch, but Joni's already gone past Chatty Duck, so Joni on those fresher medium tyres, that could be more down to grip as well, as you mentioned, now getting them all up to temperature as early as possible. But now what can our leader do? He's got Seppi for company, he's also got Bergen, Xavier and Ujoni as well. Fresher tyres for Ujoni, the freshest of the lot. And also keep an eye on those soft tyre runners. Bailey and Calvin's currently 7th and 8th. What can they do about the Daffy Duck ahead of them?
Oh, Joni's going around the outside into the final corner.
Oh, he is a side by side. There's a little bit of a touch there. I don't know if that was just a little bit of understeer. Now braking a little bit, but they're still side by side. No damage. But now Joni's going to have the run. Lovenchi's got a 30-second penalty, but this is going to be the closest bit. He's trying to one way. He tries. Now he's down to the outside. Bailey's on the inside of Chatty Duck as well, further behind the Haas and the Williams, but there we go. Joni does make the move. Chatty Duck now has got past Xavier because he got outside of position through 2. So Xavier down 2 positions to Joni now up into 4th.
And there's a big tyre advantage. You can see that really clearly how much more grip he had around that outside
and
line.
Chris has just shown that through 4. Xavier's not giving up, but he does make the move. He did the switch back through 4, and Chris now on his way into 6, and Calvin next in line to take on the German in the Aston Martin. I'm just going to start calling him Sebastian Vettel. I'm sure you'll love that.
Well, there's worse people would be called.
That's it. Well, yeah, definitely.
So
the gaps at the front are looking quite interesting.
Yeah, I was about to say I've just gone back to the front, and that gap is coming down slightly between Kid and Seppi.
As long as we're tired outside of turn 3. There's no one in that sector, so hopefully that'll get cleared and we won't have any more. Oh, the dreaded. We're not going to say the word. We're not going to say it. We've said it 3 times and we've had more than 3, so we'll leave that one.
I think we're safe. There we go, he's gone. So.
But I tell you what, Seppi's used quite a lot of his DRS. You can see that on his steering wheel on the Haas now. DRS is enabled. Joni sets the fastest lap of the race on his pursuit of the top 3. But Dynamite is going to be... How late does Seppi manage to break into turn 1? All of them managed to break so late.
So I think he's desperately been dumping his ERS to try to stay in that window for his for the ERS, for the DRS. Sorry.
Yeah, Kid's got a lot more on me of his ERS left as well. Just managing it at this moment. Just get the tyres back up, get the feel of them again. Once they've gone through another heat cycle. But Joni's looking very racy on the back of Bergen. This will be really good points for the Williams team. Should the managers, Calvin's had a moment and gone somewhere down. I don't know if he got pushed out a little bit. Xavier as well now, outside of the top 10. And Douglas Horner's had a moment somewhere. He's gone as well, outside of 8. Reese is back up to 9th now, after all these moving and shaking around.
Yeah, he was a long way, but obviously he's on a fresh set of tyres, isn't he? Which is why he dropped so far back. But and
he had that wing damage, of course, in the pit lane.
Is staying quite a lot closer this lap, but that ERS difference is massive between these two guys.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring that up for you, folks. 20% left. Dynamite tries to go right then left, just shakes a little bit of that DRS, that slipstream, I should even say.
Kid is desperately trying to break the toe.
Yeah, but here we are on board. There's only 6% left to Seppi. Has he going to have enough straight line speed? There's not enough. He now pulls alongside before the braking zone. He's side by side, a wheel ahead. Is Dynamite going to be bravest on the brakes? He's trying the outside line. He's going to have the inside for turn 2. Who's going to have the run? And it's Seppi gets it. Now who's going to have the DRS this lap? I think it's Kid, but Kid's actually under pressure from O'Joni because now they're at it. O'Joni's on the inside into 4. He's got the better tyres and better grip. Johnny the outside, is he going to have to run? The still side by side. Oh, Johnny, what happened to Johnny there?
He had a big twitch. He nearly went round, but he managed to hang on to it. He's still just behind Bergen, so he's okay.
Whew. Oh, we were on board with Kid and suddenly looking left, right, and yeah, don't know where we went.
So what Seppi won't know is that he's down to a mere 15% on his ERS, and Kid has still got 50. So. Yep.
Bergen on 33, Joni's still about the 50s as well, now trying to get in the back of that Williams once again. Chris Bailey 20%, but Donald Duck only on 8% further back. But Dynamite's, he's falling away a little bit now. Now are these tyres just starting to wane and not providing that overall grip that you'd expect them to have, and that you say slowing the traction zones a little bit more to steer?
Don't know whether you saw him out of that corner, but the back end was all over the shop. He's really struggling to get the power down at the moment.
I know Joni makes a move already on Bergen. That's just going to allow Bergen to have the DRS in response, but Joni's still going to have it anyway off the back of Dynamite, who just has it off Seppi. Don't go anywhere. We've still got 3 more laps to go. 2 more racing laps after this, of course. So I'll tell you what, the Williams 4th and 5th really doing well this round. But Chris Bailey, I could see the light actually flashing on the back of Bailey's car. Dynamite's closing up. Only 4/10 because of the DRS, you'd have to say. But the man, you'd have to say, I'm not going to say prime position. He is, but he isn't. Is O'Joni at the minute. He's now got that grip. You can see him. He just seems to be a lot more confident through that S section of 5 and 6.
Yeah, I mean it's out of the traction zones. He's losing a tenth or so out of each corner exit at the moment.
He is. He's doing well with his DRS. He's just holding it just quite nicely. He's a lot closer to Kid, so he's going to benefit more from the DRS than Kid is and the slipstream. And he can hold a tighter line
behind Kid. Johnny's right behind Kid.
Yeah, he's holding a not tighter line up the hill. And can use that curb. Look, we're right on board with him at the moment. He's just, using that little bit of the overtake button just to keep within that touching distance that he's going to want to get that run outside of the last corner. But Kid seems to do well, but is he going to be just about... Ooh, he just within the ERS, and he's trying to go defensive, trying to break the toe, and he's got... Kid's dumped all of his ERS. Oh, Johnny tries to go to the inside. This is quite late. Is he going to have it? Is he going to have the move? Just about keeps it. But Johnny's going to have the grip outside of 2, and he does. Is he going to dump the rest of his ERS? He saw Kid down flashing. Ooh, that was a little bit naughty, you'd have to say, but no harm done still. Through there, I don't think Kid maybe saw him come. Maybe he was just a little bit late. Now Johnny does get into that second place. He's going to be tearing down. He's going to know he's on the hard tyres. Doesn't know how long he's been on them though. Mastermind and has us on in the background, of course.
Yeah, I mean, he could still do this. He is within DRS.
He is. He's going to be able to have, you'd have to say, I use the term cleaner air, because he's not right on the gearbox of the house yet. He can still take his braking zone, he can still take his his line into the corners and carry the speed he wants because he's not necessarily constrained by the car in front. And he actually used the overtake button in the middle of turn 11? I mean, and 12. Who uses overtaking there?
He's catching all the time. He's under half a second now.
And Dynamite's going to be under pressure from Bergen and also from Chris Bailey. Last lap. Here we go, folks. Who's going to take victory? Is it going to be Seppi? Is he going to be able to hold on? Johnny's now used all of his ERS. And actually 0 for Seppi. Johnny's going on the outside into turn 1. The side by side. He's going to have the inside into turn 2. Just about Seppi. Just about holds it. Who's going to have the DRS? Neither of them somehow, don't know how, neither of them have got any ERS left. Seppi now on the inside into 4, just about holds on. Johnny's trying to go on the outside into 5 and 6. Oh, he has to just about back out. Wow.
Oh dear, I was holding my breath then for a second.
I haven't got any left.
I'm presuming somebody forgot to press their DRS button then, to be honest with you.
I think maybe, yeah.
And Corey's been disqualified for not using the required compounds.
Oh,
of course he's ghosted.
Oh, of
His
course
ghost hasn't
he
pitted.
did. Yes. How's the ghost not decided to pit?
I don't
Oh,
know.
I don't understand how that even happens. But we've got 2 more, well, technically 3, but 2 more corners left. Can Seppi hold on for Mujoni? This is going down to the right. Bergen is all over the back of Kid Dynamite as well, but we can't take our eyes away from this one. I think Dumas Hornets had a moment. He's gone further back. Saviour currently got the fastest lap of the race outside of the points, though. But Seppi just holds on and takes the win under the lights for Mujoni in second. Dynamite, wow, what a race from Dynamite. Recovery drive of the night. Takes third. Bailey gets ahead of Bergen. That may have been on penalties. I think it. Well, I'm not sure actually. Might have just let him through. I don't know on there. But 4th and 5th for the Williams. Donald Duck takes 6th. Reese in 7th. Anton in 8th. G-Star 9th. And the final point scoring position of the evening goes to the Pinata Confetti, with Calvin in 11th. Floppy Loppy in 12th. Dumas Hornet in will cross the line 13th. And then a little bit further back is the other Aston Martin. Not being there today, only 1 point scored for them, and not being the one the Saviour would have wanted. He was looking very racy early on, and just didn't seem to go his way. He would take 14th. The DNFs, the J Sarge, and I'll come to the rest in a moment. But wow.
Yeah, well, that was another exciting finish, wasn't it? And that, to be fair, there was some genuinely excellent racing going on there. There was some super clean, super tight challenging of one another, and yeah, that's exactly how you want to see it done. That was impressive stuff from those guys then.
It really was, exactly. Couldn't put it better myself. That was how you race respectfully. Give space, give room, but hard and fair. Neither driver giving an inch, but just about an inch between them, and that's just how it should be, and that's how MRC is, and how we roll. I'm just trying to catch my breath, to be honest, before I come through the provisional results.
Yeah, you sounded like you were going to have palpitations just then. You got
tier 1.
Very excitable about 3 or 4 laps to go.
Yeah, it's tier 1. It does it to me every time. This is why we do rotations, and I take a week off occasionally. I can't cope.
For your blood pressure.
Yeah, exactly that. So there we are, folks. Seppi does just take victory from Ujoni in second. Kid Dynamite, what a recovery drive from that first lap incident to take third. Chris Bailey, great result for him in fourth, and his teammate Bergen in fifth. Donald Duck takes 6th, Reese in 7th, Anton in 8th, G-Star 9th, and Confetti in 10th. Then we have Calvin, Floppy Loppy, Dumas Hornet, and Saviour, the last of the finishers. Lauren Cheer, DNF, unfortunately. J Sarge, the hosepipe, red car lost, unfortunately, outside of turn 8. Liverpool off the line, and Corey got disqualified because his ghost decided he didn't want to go into the pits. After all of that, who would you go for, and who would be your choice for our current driver of the day, Mr. Hills?
I think, for me, it's a toss-up between Ujoni and Kidd. I think I think considering how badly things started off for Kidd, you've kind of got to give it to him because he couldn't have had much of a worse start, and if things had fallen very slightly differently, he could have won that race.
I can't disagree. To be honest, I'm going to have to go and back you with that one. I'd have to say Kidd, and for exactly those reasons. Yeah, lost his wing off the line after a fortunate incident with Liverpool. And, 2 pit stops early on and managed to get those hard tyres pretty much to the end. We said they would feel a bit poor, and he just about hung on and got there in the end. And, yeah, it struggled, I think, at the end. But, yeah, I think it'd have to go with Kidd.
If it hadn't been for that late safety car, it could have been a totally different finish, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It really could. Yeah, that was...
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, he actually lost his wing twice because I don't know whether you remember, but he actually lost a chunk of it at some point under the safety car as well. So we went back in again.
Yeah, of course. Yes, he did. Yeah.
So yeah. Impressive.
It really was. And the action doesn't stop there, folks. We've still got Tier 3 and Tier 4 to come on Wednesday evening, and then we have a very special MRC X on Friday night with qualifying, a sprint race, and then the main event to follow suit. So do not miss that as well on Friday, and that'll be from 7:30 p.m. UK time, where we're back to the normal times, of course, on Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. and 8:45 for Tier 3 and 4. All that's left to say after that one is, one, I'm glad I'm sat down, but I need a breather. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for taking part. And thank you to my man of the hour, my big guest this evening. It is Mr. Hills. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
That's been fun again.
That's one way you could put it.
bit calmer than last week's commentary that was involved with. So almost like we were commentating on the race rather than just trying to come up with innuendos, which was refreshing for a change. But, you know...
well, occasionally we've got to talk racing in MRC. We don't like it, but we have to. I think it's what the audience wants.
Yeah, I think it really very much depends on the company that you keep.
Yeah, very much. But yeah, we will see you all on Wednesday evening, and then we'll be back, of course, next week. Tier 1 and 2 before our Christmas break. We will be heading another warm climates of Saudi Arabia and this very fast and flowing street circuit of Jeddah. So, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and ring the bell to get notification of when we go live for all our races. But thank you again, Martin, for joining.
Cheers, thanks for that.
Thank you very much, everybody, and we will see you soon. Good night.
See you later.